It's Monday, March 27th, 2023. Let's talk about the news. From the New York Times, Israel's defense minister says government should halt contentious judicial plan. The Israeli defense minister has called for the Israeli government to halt the implementation of an incredibly controversial judicial overhaul that would, among other things, give the executive government more power over the judicial branch. This change would practically eliminate a fundamental check on the power of the government, and though it's not unpopular to think the country's judicial system could use some touch-ups, this overhaul proposal has been pushed through government by a prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who is under investigation for corruption and thus allegedly has reason to want to reduce the power the judicial branch enjoys, lest they use it against him. But it's also just generally broadly perceived to be extreme. This plan has sparked protests across Israel that have gotten bigger by the week for 12 straight weeks. From BBC News, Russia to station nuclear weapons in Belarus, says Putin. Russian President Putin has announced that his military will station tactical nuclear weapons in neighboring Belarus, claiming that the move will not violate existing non-proliferation agreements and that control of the nukes will not be given to the Belarusian government. This could be construed as saber-rattling, as the Russian military is reportedly stalling out on its most recent wave of attacks in eastern Ukraine, and Putin may therefore be trying to pull attention away from that portion of the conflict while also reminding the world that his nation is a nuclear power. Putin justified this declaration by saying it's akin to what the US does, basing some of its nukes in its allies' territory. And if he goes through with it, this would be the first time Russia has based nuclear weapons beyond its borders since the mid-1990s. Tactical nuclear weapons have far smaller yields than conventional nuclear weapons and are therefore less destructive, but also considered to be more perniciously dangerous, as their use could be more casually justified by a government like Putin's. And from Reuters, at least 29 African migrants die when 2 boats sink off Tunisia. Amid a broad campaign of arrests by the Tunisian government of sub-Saharan African migrants attempting to boat from Tunisia across the Mediterranean to Europe, at least 29 people have been confirmed killed following the sinking of 2 small boats headed toward Italy off the Tunisian coast. In recent months, Tunisia has become the most popular departure point for Europe by people hoping to escape poverty, famine, and violence in their sub-Saharan African home countries, and the Tunisian Coast Guard has stopped about 80 boats headed to Italy in the past handful of days alone, alongside the more than 14,000 other migrants who were stopped before they could attempt the journey. About 12,000 migrants who left from Tunisia have reached Italy so far this year, compared to 1,300 during the same period in 2022. Tunisia is not in a good spot, financially or governmentally, and this wave of would-be migrants are thought to be adding to the overall precarity of the state. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.